Hi everyone, welcome to Polynomials class. I am T. Shashidhar, PGT Mathematics, working at Telangana Social Welfare Residential School, Boys, Kondapaka at Duddada, Siddipet district. In the previous class, we learnt the importance of the chapter polynomials and as well as the importance or usage of the chapter polynomials in different subjects. Okay, today we are going to discuss some of the basic terms required to understand the chapter polynomials. Okay, let us start our session. Let us look at the screen. So these are the terms we are going to discuss today. Let us start our session by what is a constant. To understand this, let us observe some pictures. What do you observe on the screen? Of course, it is a chessboard. How many unit squares are there on the chessboard? Yes, there are 64 unit squares. Do you think that the number of unit squares differs from one board to another chessboard? No. So, in any chessboard, if you observe, there will be 64 unit squares. Okay, it has a fixed value, it is not going to change. Let us observe one more picture. How many days are there in a week? So every week will have 7 days from Sunday to Saturday. Last week there were 7 days, this week has 7 days, and next week will also have 7 days. So number of days in a week, okay, it has a fixed value and it is not going to change. Observe one more picture. How many months are there in a year? So every year will have 12 months from January to December. In 2019 there were 12 months. This year 2020 has 12 months. In the next year, that is 2021, will also have 12 months. So number of months in a year, it has a fixed value, it is not going to change. And let us observe one more picture. Yes, what is that? It is a rainbow. How many colors are there in a rainbow? Yes, there are 7 colors: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. These are the 7 colors. So if you observe any rainbow, so it will have 7 colors. Okay, it is fixed, it is not going to change. So by observing these pictures, what do you understand? So far we observed the quantities whose values are fixed and whose values are not changing. Okay, so what are these quantities and how do we call them? So we call them as constants. Okay, so what is the definition of a constant? Okay, it is a quantity which has a fixed value and whose value does not change. Such a quantity is called a constant, right? Okay, what are the examples of a constant? Every real number is a constant. So 2 is a constant, 5 is a constant, root 2 is a constant, 2.5 is a constant. Okay, every real number is a constant because so these numbers values, these are not going to change, they have a fixed value. Okay, now let us discuss the constant pi. Pi is an important constant in mathematics. We already learnt in the real numbers chapter. Okay, what is pi? It is the ratio of circumference of a circle to its diameter. What is the circumference of a circle? It is the length of the boundary of a circle. What is the diameter? It is the line segment joining any 2 points on the circle passing through the center of the circle. Okay, that is pi value is obtained by dividing the circumference of a circle by the diameters. The mathematicians observed that the pi value is 3.14159 and so on, irrespective of the size of the circle. This value is a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. It is an irrational number which cannot be converted in the form of p by q. But we are using 22/7 as the value of pi to make the calculations easier, because 22/7, when it is expressed in the decimal form, it gives the correct value up to 2 decimal places, that is 3.14, which is very closer to the value of pi, 3.14159. Okay, right. From this discussion, it is clear that the circumference of a circle is more than 3 times the diameter. Okay, so you can see on the screen the pi value is 3.14159 and so on. It is a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. So let's watch a video to understand it more clearly. If you observe on the screen, a circle is inserted between two vertical lines representing 0 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and 3 and 4. That is, here the length of the diameter is taken as 1 unit. Here 1 unit is equal to the length of the diameter. If the circle is made to move on the horizontal line which shown at the bottom of the picture, how many units it covers in one complete rotation? Okay, let us watch the video. Yes, the circle started moving from the point 0 and in one complete rotation in revolution it covered more than 3 units distance. That is, the circumference of a circle is more than 3 times the diameter, more than 3 times the length of the diameter. So I hope you understood the value of pi clearly. Now let us discuss what is a variable. To understand this, let us observe some pictures. Observe the picture on the screen. It shows the age of a boy according to the Helo5 app. Today his age is 234 days, yesterday it was 233 days, and tomorrow it will be 235 days. That is, the age of this boy is not fixed. It can take any value. Let us observe the next picture. It shows the height of a growing boy. So it has no fixed height. The height of a growing boy is keep on changing. Observe the next picture. It shows the day-wise average temperatures of a week in a city from March 24 to March 30. So clearly you can understand that the average temperature of a day is keep on changing from March 24 to March 30. It has no fixed value. Let us observe one more picture. It is the date in a calendar. Today the date is 18 and yesterday it was 17 and tomorrow it will be 19. That is, the date in a calendar, it can take any value. It has no fixed value. Let us observe one more picture. What do you observe on the screen? Graph shows the variation of gold rates in India from January 1st to May 15 of this year 2020. From the graph it is clear that at the beginning of the month January, the gold rate is below 40,000. Now the gold rate is raised up to 47,500 in the month of May. So clearly you can observe the change. That is, the gold rates are not fixed. They can take any value. Okay. So far we discussed the quantities whose values are not fixed or which can take value. These are all the examples of a variable. Okay. So what is the definition of a variable? A variable is a quantity which can take any value or whose value is not fixed. Such quantities are called variables. Right. How do we represent the variables? We use the letters of English alphabet to represent the variables. For example, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, etc. So these are used to represent the variable. From this discussion, it is clear that the variables are used to represent the different numbers. Okay, so I hope you understand what is variable. Now let us discuss what is a term. A term may be a constant, or it may be a variable, or it may be the product of constant and one or more variables, or it may be the product of constant and one or more variables raised to any power. Let us try to understand. A term may be a constant. Each and every constant is a term. 5 is a term, 3 by 8 is a term, root 2 is a term, 2.5 is a term. Each and every real number is a term. Of course, these terms comes under numerical terms because these are the numbers. Each and every constant is a numerical term. Okay. A term may be a variable also. Each and every variable is a term. A is a term, B is a term, X is a term, Y is a term. Each and every variable is a term. So a term may be a variable. So these variables comes under algebraic terms, and a term may be the product of constant and one or more variables also. For example, see 2a, it is the product of constant 2 and one variable a. Let us see the next example, minus 3pq, it is the product of constant minus 3 and two variables p and q. Next example you observe, it is the product of a constant 4 and three variables x, y, z. So the product of constant and one or more variables also treated as terms. So these are also comes under algebraic terms as there are variables. And the term may be the product of constant and one or more variables raised to any power also. Let us observe the example. 3x square, it is the product of a constant 3 and a variable x is raised to the power 2. That is, in this term the variable x occurred 2 times as a factor. 3x square is nothing but 3 into x into x. X occurred 2 times as a factor. Next example you observe 4y square z square. It is also a term. It is the product of a constant 4 and two variables y and z, they are raised to the power 2. That is, in this term the variable y occurred 2 times as a factor and z also occurred 2 times as a factor. Let us observe the next example, 5a square b cube c square. It is also a term. It is the product of a constant 5 and three variables a, b, c raised to the powers 2, 3 and 2. That is, here the variable a occurred 2 times as a factor and the variable b occurred 3 times as a factor and the variable c occurred 2 times as a factor. Right. So from this discussion, it is clear that in a term any variable can occur any number of times as a factor. Okay. So what is a term? It may be a constant or it may be a variable, or it may be the product of constant and one or more variables, or it may be the product of constant and one or more variables raised to any power, right. So here we have to discuss two more important points. What are those? The product of two terms is also treated as a single term. For example, see on the screen, 2a is a term and 3b is a term. Okay, their product 2a into 3b is equal to 6ab. It is treated as a single term, only one term. The product of two or more terms, okay, they are treated as only one term. The product is treated as only one term. Similarly, the quotient of two terms also treated as only one term. For example, You see 2a and 3b, these are the two terms. Their quotient when 2a is divided by 3b, so it is treated as a single term. Okay, so we have two types of terms, numerical terms and algebraic terms. So numerical terms are nothing but constants, and if there is at least a variable in the term, then it is treated as algebraic term. So hope you understand the term. Now let us discuss what is meant by coefficient. To understand this, let us consider a term. Observe the term on the screen. It is 5ab. So here a constant 5 and two variables a comma b are multiplied to get this term. So these three, 5 comma a comma b, are called the factors of the term 5ab. So what is the definition of coefficient? In any product, each factor is called the coefficient of the product of remaining factors. That is, let us take a factor 5. It will become the coefficient of the product of remaining factors. What are the remaining factors? A and b. So what is their product? AB. So 5 is the coefficient of AB. In similar way, A is also the coefficient of 5b and b is also the coefficient of 5a. Of course, here we can take the vice versa also. AB is also the coefficient of 5 and 5a is the coefficient of b and 5b is the coefficient of a. So these are all the coefficients. In these coefficients, if you observe, 5 is the only number. So 5 is called the numerical coefficient as it is a number. So in general speaking also, whenever we say the coefficient, we will understand that it is a numerical coefficient. And some other coefficients like a comma b and ab, so these are called literal coefficients as these are consisting the variables, right? I hope you understand about the coefficient. So here I have to tell an important thing. Suppose in any term, if the coefficient is not given, then what is the coefficient? Suppose let us see the examples. What is the coefficient of the term x? Okay, before the x we don't have any number, but we can write the term x as 1 into x. That is, the coefficient of x is 1. And what is the coefficient of minus x? We can write minus x as the product of minus 1 and x. So the coefficient of minus x is minus 1. So when the coefficient of a term is not given, we have to understand that the coefficient is 1. Okay. So I hope you understand about coefficient. Now let us discuss what are like terms and unlike terms. Okay, let us discuss about like terms first. What is the definition of like terms? The terms having same variables with the same exponents are called like terms. Once again, the terms having same variables with the same exponents are called like terms. Once you observe the examples, the first example, 2x square comma minus 5x square. These two terms are having the same variable x with the same exponent 2. Here the variable is same and exponent also same. So these two terms are a pair of like terms. Let us observe the next example, 3x cube y square, 4x cube y square. So these are having the same variables x and y with the same exponents 3, 2, 3, 2. That is why these two are also like terms. Let us observe the next example, 5z comma minus 2z. These two terms are having the same variable z, of course with the same exponent 1, 1. Here the exponent is not mentioned, means the exponent is 1. Let us observe the last example, 2xy comma 3yx. These are also like terms as they are having the same variables x comma y and x comma y and with the exponents 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so these are the examples of like terms. Then what are meant by unlike terms? The terms which are not like, they are called unlike terms. Or so unlike terms means the variables may be different in these terms, or the exponents may be different in these terms, or both variables and exponents may be different in these terms. For example, let us see the first example, 2x square and 3x cube. These are unlike terms because even though they have the same variable, their exponents are different. Let us observe the second example, 3x square comma 4y square. So these are unlike terms because even though they have the same exponents, the variables are different, x, y. Let us observe the third example, 2x square y comma minus 3xy square. In these two terms, the variables are same, x, y, but you observe their exponents, they are different, 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay, that is why these are unlike terms. Let us observe the last example. Okay, 4y cube comma minus 5z power 4. So here the variables are different and their exponents are also different, 3 and 4. That is why these are also unlike terms. So unlike terms means the terms having same variables with different exponents, or the terms having same exponents with different variables, or the terms having different variables and different exponents. Okay, so these are called unlike terms. Okay, now let us discuss what is an expression. An expression may be a single term or the combination of two or more terms using the operations addition and subtraction. What are the symbols? What are the operations that we used to combine the terms? Yes, they are addition and subtraction, plus and minus. Okay, for example, 5, it is an expression having only one term. Each and every constant is an expression. It is a numerical, these comes under numerical expressions. So next example, 2x, it is an algebraic expression having only one term. Next you observe 3y plus 2z, it is also an expression having two terms. It is an algebraic expression having two terms. We used the symbol plus to combine these two terms. And 2p plus 3q minus 4r, it is also an algebraic expression having three terms. Here we used both the operations plus and minus to combine these three terms. So from this discussion it is clear that an expression can have one term or two terms or three terms, or it can have more number of terms. So using the constants and variables, whatever you write, so that will be treated as an expression. And the expressions are two types, numerical expressions and algebraic expression. So numerical expression is nothing but it is an expression in which each and every term is a constant. If you don't see a variable in that expression, okay, we can call it as a numerical expression. For example, you see 2, it is a numerical expression. 3 plus 4, it is a numerical expression. 5 minus 3 into 6 divided by 2 plus 8, it is a numerical expression. So all these are examples of numerical expressions. Suppose if you observe at least a variable in an expression or at least one algebraic term in an expression, then it is called an algebraic expression. So let us see the example. X plus 5, it is an algebraic expression having two terms because it consists of one algebraic term x. 2y, it is an algebraic expression. It is an expression having one term. X square minus y square plus x minus y, it is an algebraic expression having four terms and all the four terms are algebraic terms. Okay, so now you understood about what is numerical expression and algebraic expression. Now let us move on. What is a polynomial? Let's discuss what is a polynomial. A polynomial is also an expression. But what expressions are polynomials? What kind of expressions are polynomials? So what are the conditions apply? Let us see. An expression in which the exponents of the variables present in each and every term are non-negative integers, then that expression is called a polynomial. Okay. What are meant by non-negative integers? non-negative integers are nothing but whole numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. These are the non-negative integers. So here there is a slight difference to expression and a polynomial. In expression, the exponents of the variables may be any integer, may be anything, whether they may be rational numbers also. But here a condition apply. The exponents of the variables present in each and every term of an expression should be only non-negative integers. Let us observe the examples. 2, it is a polynomial. Okay, 2 is a polynomial having only one term. Next, 3x plus 5, it is also a polynomial, so having two terms. So what is the variable present here? Of course, a variable is present, that is x. What is the exponent? There is no exponent, means it is 1. 1 is a non-negative integer. Let us observe the next example, x square plus y minus 2. It is also a polynomial with 3 terms. Okay, so what are the variables present in that polynomial? X and y. You observe their exponents 2 and 1, non-negative integers. Let us observe the next example, 3 plus 2xy square minus 4x square y cube plus z square. It is also a polynomial having 4 terms. And the variables present in those terms are x, y, z. You observe their exponents, all are non-negative integers. Okay. Now, I think you understood little about polynomial, right? So we can classify the polynomials based on number of terms. As we are saying, a polynomial can have 1 term, 2 terms or 3 terms or more number of terms. So we can classify the polynomials based on number of terms. Okay, so polynomials can be classified as monomial, binomial and trinomial. So what is mean by monomial? A polynomial having only one term is called a monomial. For example, 5 is a monomial, 3 by 8 is a monomial, 2x is a monomial, 3y square is a monomial, 4x square y cube is a monomial. So these are all monomials because we don't have any addition symbol or subtraction symbol. The terms are not combined here. Okay, these are all single terms, right? What is meant by a binomial? A polynomial having 2 terms is called a binomial. So bi means what? 2. Bicycle means it will have 2 wheels. Bi means 2. So a polynomial having 2 terms is called a binomial. Okay, let us see the examples. 5 plus 2x. 2 terms means here we should understand that 2 unlike terms. A polynomial having 2 unlike terms, okay, is called a binomial. 5 plus 2x, it is a binomial because, okay, here we have 2 terms and they are separated by the symbol addition, and these 2 are unlike terms. Let us observe the next one, x square minus 5, it is also a binomial because the given 2 terms are unlike terms. X cube minus y cube, it is also a binomial because so the 2 terms present in that are binomial. So like that 16 minus y power 4 is also a binomial. So next trinomial. Tri means 3. Triangle means it is a polygon having 3 sides. Tri means 3. So trinomial means a polynomial having 3 terms is called a trinomial. Okay. For example, 5 minus 2x minus y cube. Okay, 3 terms means we should understand that these are 3, the terms should be 3 unlike terms. So 5 minus 2x minus y cube, it is a trinomial because we have 3 terms, 3 unlike terms we have. And y square minus 2y plus 8, it is also a trinomial because we have 3 unlike terms. A square minus 2ab plus b square, it is also a trinomial. Of course, it is the formula of a minus b whole square. It is also a trinomial as we have 3 unlike terms. Okay. So far we discussed constant, variable, term, coefficient and expression, numerical expression, algebraic expression, like terms, unlike terms, so polynomials and their classification based on number of terms. So in the next class I will come up with some more interesting topics in the polynomials. Till then, goodbye. So thank you everyone.